Hi, chat.
Hi.
Hi,
Hi, Fred.
John. Good
Oh.
morning.
We'd gone through a recap
Morning.
before. If you're not 100% sure on what they're doing, they're in a library. They did a bunch of research. They were given text dumps of research things. You guys will figure it out eventually. As you are finishing up getting this information, Rigel, you've sort of been just hanging around with Akshir as he sort of explains the bits and pieces of the stuff, and you guys do find a couple of books that relate to the topic, but like one is like a biography or like a historical recounting of like the immortal emperor killing the first titan to ever die, the first slaying of a titan, um, and it becoming sort of the base of which he built the capital around originally, which you would know as the like large rib cage that is under the Republic now, and sort of like is where the Undercity dredges were. That relic, that big piece of Titan bone, was literally the first ever Titan to be slain by the Immortal Emperor back in back in the day. Many of the pieces of its body had since been altered or shipped off to different like groups and different places so that they could then use the high magic, the potential of these titans, in hopes that they could slay other titans, because the titans had effectively ruled before this, as well as the dragons, which had just dropped from immortality. But uh, between the massive titans that sort of were the forces of nature that were incredibly deadly. Sure, there was like, a tidal wave here or there, the tornado appears, but as soon as a titan was in your area, you're just it was bad news bears. Um, and the Immortal Emperor was the first one to slay a titan without the use of divinity. He did not have any direct assistance by any gods or other things. It was purely through some other magic, which, from what Mai has learned, has became the sigil magic that the Imperials used to use. Um, Apparently, one's understanding of how mana works and how the magic the Titans sort of naturally exuded into the world turned out to be a great way to kill the Titans, and turned out to be the backbone of a entire fundamental system of magic that is mostly gone, that sort of ceased to exist when the Emperor disappeared. It later became the magics that wizards use, though they use more math rather than wordplay. Um, so yeah, just it turns out between my and Rigel's researches, there's some overlap there between the two the two things. Aram assisted a bunch. Kaliana as well was keeping an eye on and listening in on conversations, and could have asked any questions of Akshir while he was sort of just like lazily looking around the place. As well as there's a bunch of Anani scholars here. There's some scholars from a couple of the other groups as well. The Legion has a few mages here, for example. The Soul Syndicate has like one dude here just looking around. Um, More looking for investment opportunities and reasons to be here for money than anything else. But each of the major guilds has at least a couple of people within the library moving about and moving around. At which point, you guys learned the other big old lore dumps, and what would you guys like to do? You're still in the library. You can still look for more things, obviously, if you've thought of more things since your previous questions. Um, and I'm getting other DMs, and I'm not sure if I should keep them secret, so let me get everything on. Where's my buttons? Where's my buttons?
Sorry, it's me. I'm messaging you about stream stuff. Yep.
Oh, yeah, I didn't change the Twitch one. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, thank you.
I didn't change the title. I just changed the category. Do you want me to change the title?
No, I can get that now.
I didn't want us to be the wrong category. And someone would come in and go, "What the fuck?"
This ain't XYZ.
This is an eternal
D&D.
strandings.
Eternal Strands.
Although, whatever. That one. There's so many games that have that similar title: Death Standing, Eternal Strands, Bebop. It's all the same.
Death Stranding.
Mhm. But yeah, you have all acquired a bunch of new information. When you're sort of buried in that book of learning that, like, hey, the sigils can change over time. Unfortunately, you have to do it manually yourself, which is why we use the Emperor's name as the basis. Because with him as the base, even if the understanding written around it is technically incorrect due to new knowledge, the Emperor's magic supports the old knowledge. Which can then lead you to understand that as soon as the Emperor disappeared, that basis went away. The magic is now working under old understandings that nobody has a consensus of anymore, and so the magic doesn't work. And looking at the lighting system in here, you can tell that it has multiple layers of magic that don't work. The only magic of the lights that work in this facility is because the concept of how people perceive light hasn't really changed that much. Which is why the lights still work here. There's no reason for the basis of the Immortal Emperor to be a requirement for lights to work.
So maybe the excess power drain also came from the fact that now that the understanding was different, it was inefficient for the magic to be powered.
Indeed. It seems that a large base for the Imperial Sigils just makes it easier for average individuals to use the magic. You do find that theoretically, people who are naturally high in magic can use the sigils based on the concepts, or based on the fundamental the consensus on how a thing works can be written in a sigil and can be cast using just the person's magic themselves. However, it's also kind of a pain in the ass, because as you're looking through some of the old sigils, you're like, well, this needs like a complete rewrite anyways, even if it didn't have the Immortal Emperor's name in it to keep it working. Like, it looks like it's going to be a bit of a nightmare to recode this, but also you are effectively refinding a magic that was lost and has become so archaic that all of it needs to be updated. Every word needs to be changed. Every bit and piece needs new fragments. And while it would be easy to use the Tyrant of Knowledge as a basis, because Kiel apparently had a bunch of magic and could kind of fake the rules of the magic, similar to how the Emperor's name was working before, you do think that theoretically you could make sigils that work purely because the person using the sigil has the magic. One of those, like, utility things, right? You are the battery rather than having to buy the battery from the Emperor.
Huh.
And that's just because your fucking knowledge and insight into things is so high. You're just like, oh, they did this because it makes it easier for the commoner in the Empire to use their magic. Theoretically, these archmages could have used anything they wanted, and in fact, a lot of the things in the library here don't use the Emperor's name as a part of their sigil. Some of them use the Archmage, and some of them use the library as the sigil. Like, the library itself is the rules of which the sigil works as the basis, which means the library probably has some sort of magic in it. It is a complicated system of wordplay, is what it seems to be. Wordplay on one's knowledge and the consensus of knowledge of how things work. Very weird magic. Is there anything anyone would like to do? Now that you've gotten a shitload of extra exposition. exposition. You guys are just chilling in the library, looking through information on stuff. Any other things you guys want to know while you're here? Any things you're looking into?
Whoa.
There's a wealth of knowledge available. As well as importantly, Riksha, that's who it was, right? Uh, importantly, you know that Kaldekrit met the Archmage while you guys were down here. And you guys never went to go and meet the Archmage. You obviously don't have to, but you guys what you want to do. Anybody?
Well,
I was checking my notes. Yes.
Hmm.
I don't remember if I asked this or not, but I wanted to see if there was anything about that building, that invisible building.
Oh, yes. Okay. So you don't find anything directly on that building. However, you do find information on the Swain family, a group of powerful mages that worked on a mix of things. The difference between consciousness and one's soul, how to move or manipulate both, including separately. There are some information written down on like their research was seemingly a little too a little too fringe, I guess is the best way to put it. Uh, and unfortunately, they used their research on a lot of people within the Empire, which resulted in some problems. Um, the most major for them being that they did get exiled. So the Swain family was effectively pushed out of the Empire due to their lack of moral standing with their experiments they did on just other people, not just followers or learners or people who wanted to do the Swain style of magic. But unfortunately, they would take test subjects from all over the Empire and just do the things to them. And yeah, it doesn't sound like they were great people. And it seems like they got exiled to the southern continent at some point, which is where that portal went to. It's where that door went to, was the southern continent. That's about all you get of the Swain family. and the magics therein. Similar, it's the same people who did the magic at the front door, where it cut your guys' consciousness, sort of
Oh,
put your psionic selves in a little box so that you guys could be trapped in a simulation. Those people made that magic. That is the Swain family's style of magic.
is there anything about if any of them are still around?
As this library has been down here for literally thousands of years, there is no new information on any of their situations. The latest information that you could find is notations of like the family tree up to that point. There is a Peter Swain who apparently married a much younger girl at the time. Kara Rose was her name before the exile happened. That's the latest two names listed are a Peter Swain and a Kara Rose Swain. Her original surname is probably listed as well, which would have been. So her real name would have been Caroline, and her last name would have been. Fuck, I think she was one of the White Roses. Let me double check. Yes, she was one of the White Roses. So the Tudor family that exists currently, they are a part of the Kingdom of Efrit, but there used to be a kingdom known as the Kingdom of Rose, which was divided into different like sub-states. Most people know about that because that was a pretty large kingdom back then before it fell to the Divide. One of the breaches from the Divide, the dungeon breaks, basically ruined the three kingdoms that used to exist there. The Kingdom of Efrit took over where Rose was and where another kingdom was that I forget the name of. And then Tumont, the Archduchy of Tumont, ended up reforming after a little while. They effectively saved the far northern portion of what was destroyed at the time. So yeah, that's what you got. You got a Caroline Tudor of the White Roses, and a Peter Swain.
Neat.
Yeah. But they were all exiled to the southern continent, apparently.
Gonna have to find out more.
You can always convince your friends to just go back there.
Well, I know one person that wants to go, but
Anything else? That Mai and Rigel were the ones doing the major researches. Anything else you were looking into, Mai, or mostly just like trying to figure out how to properly edit and reword old sigils into modern ones?
Yeah, the editing.
Okay. Aliana, anything you want to look into while you're here?
Unsure. Can't think of anything.
Oh, you're very, very quiet. I can't hear you.
Is that better?
Yes, much better.
Okay. I couldn't really think of anything. So I guess I'll just be floating around.
Okie dokie. No worries. And then, Aram, you're probably getting monopolized between other random council members and or other people who are like, hey, could you also grab that book? People who don't have the rights to grab certain books of certain shelves. Okay.
I'm gonna judge every one of them. Look at them judgingly and suss them out, and then reluctantly give in. Because I can.
Fantastic. Then, as you guys continue research and just looking around, the scholars are continuing to check things out. Quite a few hours, like you're working like effectively you're doing a work day in here to learn all this info and like pull apart all the things that you guys want and need from things. Some people do bring out like food and stuff, and the drones in the library itself doesn't seem to care very much. Although you do notice that as people like finish meals and are like looking for trash cans, just can't find anything. They put it down on a counter and walk away. The drones will go and grab those items, and then they just seem to disappear to somewhere. After I'll say 6 hours or so of your research and development down here, it took you guys a while to get here to begin with, so you're getting towards nighttime, or what would be nighttime, I guess. Because you're in edit mode now, and you're probably not so deeply consumed, as well as Kaliana and Arim, because you guys are helping other people and or just like looking around. If you guys could make perception checks for me, please. I know Mai's gonna get a good one, but I want to see how good Arim and Cal.
Yeah, I'm waiting to roll mine until.
No, that's not the right one.
Yeah, check perception. Nice. Okay.
Hell yeah, brother.
So Cal, you're just, in your own world. It's fine. Aram and Mai, however, there is an individual walking around wearing slightly greened colored robes and iconography. Not particularly like noble looking. They look like they could just be a researcher. They look like they could be a part of, whatever crew or club or whatever is here. If it weren't for the fact that Aram, you know that the only guild that would be wearing green was not on this expedition. And Mai, you definitely didn't see this person in the expedition groups. Nobody else seems to be paying attention to them. And in fact, Rigel and Cal, you don't perceive this person at all.
Hey.
Um, what are they doing?
They're walking around on the upper levels. You see that a person who's like grabbing a book off a shelf literally right now almost runs into this person, and they just seem to sidestep out of the way and seem to be not perceived by the person who just grabbed a book and almost ran into this person. Every now and then they'll walk over to a table and just look over somebody's shoulders to look at what they're reading. And again, like they will lean on the table over the person. And the person will just keep reading. Not look up, not notice this person behind them. And they'll move on to the next thing. They seem to be keeping tabs on what people are grabbing, what people are looking through.
Like a librarian?
Possibly. Very nosy librarian.
Like a librarian.
And because the drones moving around are keeping track of like what books are being taken out and are like replacing a lot of the books that have multiple copies so that more people can take out ones. But this person's very nosy. And importantly, nobody else seems to be recognizing that somebody is walking around literally right next to them or over top of them or, as if they're not being perceived. Do either Mai or Aram wish to do anything about this?
I'm gonna assume that they haven't noticed that we've noticed them.
Doesn't seem like it.
Mhm.
I'm gonna certainly keep an eye on them, but and try and do it discreetly.
Okay.
And maybe see if there's anyone else in the room that's not trying to be perceived.
Okay.
I think Mai's curiosity is gonna get the best of her. She's gonna kind of like sneak up to the person and whisper, "What you doing?"
Sure. As you, even like, if you're sneaking or not sneaking, this person very obviously doesn't think anybody can see them because you're able to just like walk up right behind them without them paying any attention as well, as if
Mhm.
they don't perceive any of you guys. Um, you're able to walk up behind them, and as you say that, you see like a slight flinch as they'll like turn their hooded head over in your direction. You see a woman's face, but it looks like it's made out of porcelain rather than out of like human skin, yeah, which makes that sound weird, but you know what I mean.
Hi, Joel. I mean, what?
Yeah, it seems more doll like it's pretty realistic looking, but you can immediately tell that like one, it has a weird shine to it that normal human skin doesn't. Um, and two, there seems to be gaps, almost like cracks in certain parts of the like mouth area and like around the eyes and where the eyebrows would be, and you can tell that they are not cracks, but they are designed portions so that it can flex and move and articulate, um, sort of like joints, basically in the face mask of this entity. And it looks down at you and goes, "Interesting. You can see me."
Am I just sitting there staring at him?
Apologies. I was seeing who our guests are. It seems we have many new library members. Have we been unsealed?
Who are you?
Pleasure to meet you. I am Triksha, the
Mm,
remains of Triksha, at least. As she continues to sort of like look around at people. She stops moving so that she can stay talking to you, but she's still like looking from person to person. This is my library, so I came to investigate. I saw some cards being issued earlier. The tower was moving then. A dragon came, believe it or not, to get to the library card. Huh. It has been quite exciting for my library. I do have that question for you, though. Is the facility unsealed now?
Um, well, I don't believe it's any longer going to go up. The facility will be staying here, and it seems like people can get in.
I see. What? And I suppose I have a library to manage again. And new people to add to the groups. I just wish the cards worked better.
What do you mean?
Oh, here, I'll show you. And her arm just, like, she reaches out from underneath her robe, and her arm slides open, and one of the library cards comes out. Looks like a just basic card that has no particular print on it. As they pull it out, and they slide the top plate of the card off, and you can see that underneath there are sigils. Imperial sigils. All over. Just a shitload of magic built into this card. And most of it seems to be turned off. It seems there are only a couple of functional parts. One seems to be related to a drone recognizing it, which you recognize as the drones are probably scanning. One being permission levels, which again is just a definition that whoever designed this made up themselves. So, of course, that part still works because it isn't related to anything else. But importantly, the card tracks its users in the library. That part seems to work. And outside the library, that part doesn't seem to work. It keeps track of the books inside the library. That part seems to work. And outside of the library, that part doesn't seem to work. It seems everything related to outside of this library and outside of the possession of it is not working within the card because it requires an external source, which in Old Imperial meant that they used the Emperor's name as a part of that magic, which is gone. So a lot of the functions of the card just don't work anymore. Only the functions that use the library's natural magic seem to be working. As she slides the card shut and puts it back into her arm and goes, "Unfortunately, the magic we used doesn't quite work the way it used to. At least mine still works." And she taps on her chest, and you hear what sounds like the clink of porcelain on porcelain from her hands to her chest, with a slight cloth in between. Does anyone outside know of this magic?
No.
How is our magic not propagated?
It's out there, but changed to a large degree.
I see. Well, I appreciate your assistance in giving me this information. How how was deciding how to ask this question is more complicated than I thought. How is the Empire perceived outside of the facility?
If they know about it, they classify it as long gone, but most people only remember it in historical texts.
Oh. Well, that can be of assistance to me, I suppose. Historical library. Might be a good way to get it back up and running. With all these people visiting. How hard is it to get to where we currently are? From population.
It's a decent trek, as well as the parts to get through can be treacherous for some.
Very well. It appears as if we need to either move or make it easier to get here, then. I'll look into doing that.
Mhm.
Do you believe the country that you come from, or she looks around at all the different people? Are you all from different countries? You all seem to be wearing different icons. And you would know. Technically, you, Rigel, Cal, and Aram are from, quote, different. Well, not Aram. Aram's from the same country as the other people, but are from different countries. But Aram, who's wearing much different iconography than, say, an Anani Council member, who's wearing much different iconography than a Legion member, are technically all from the same country.
Was that previous question asked aloud or to my?
It was asked directly to you. You're the only one who can currently perceive her. And in fact, while you're talking to her, you literally see as a council member almost runs into her and she like sidesteps while talking to you.
So
I'm
there's-
eyeballing you from the first floors.
So there's a couple of us that are from different countries, but a vast majority of the people in here currently are from the country that is currently above us.
Wonderful. Are you from the country that's above us?
I am not, but my kind of glances over to Aram. They
She
are.
looks down at Aram. Very well.
My eyes go wide. Like, "Mm."
I will find whatever leadership is here then. Do you know which one is the leader, so I may converse with them about this country?
I will actually point out the person who is, quote, the lead of this expedition.
Yeah, so you point out the person who stayed here that Cabra put in sort of in charge of the library,
Yeah.
because Cabra began to sort of move off to go and continue the trek. He stayed here for a little while because he had that card, and then it was like, okay, I should probably go help other people. It's been like 4 hours here. I should probably go and continue the expedition I was being paid for. So he put someone else in charge, but they do seem to be keeping track of all the scholars and stuff. She goes, thank you. Is there anything I can assist you with? You've helped me quite a bit.
Currently, I'm just looking for and working on materials for the old Imperial magic. So
Oh. All right. Well, I know quite a bit about that. Just the old sigil magic, or are you looking into the more advanced things?
kind of all of it. I'm trying to see and work on editing some of the old sigils to see how I can get them to work.
Her eyes like go wide for a moment. You swear you see the like little cracks and openings around her eyes like widen. I see. Well, then perhaps we have much to speak of. She like looks at the person you said was in lead, and you can tell like now she kind of doesn't want to go talk to them yet. She wants to keep talking to you for a moment. She goes, I suppose they can wait a little while longer, and turns back to you. They don't even know I'm here yet. So, I can assist you as much as possible. I would need to know rules of reality. For example, back in our day, and she'll begin to describe the way they thought of certain things, right? So, like, the way they defined how, like, water works against earth. And you're like, well, yeah, there's, like, erosion, and she's like, yeah, erosion. It's like this, and you're like, no, that's not quite how it works. It actually works like this, and she's like, oh, like as she's piecing old information with the information of modern science, it's like that's why that doesn't work. That's why that doesn't work. And then eventually she'll pull out that card that she had, one of the library cards, and we'll look into the scrying outside, and it'll be like, okay, so the Emperor is gone, which means obviously we can't use this. But like then you inform her that like, oh yeah, a bunch of Titans have been slain since the Emperor's time, and many of them like, are just gone these days, and a lot of people are like really magical these days just on their own. And she's like, oh, well, what if the base then was like the ambient magic in the world rather than the person who like founded it? Because then you could theoretically use that little scry feature on anybody who has the card, or you would know where any of these cards are, or where your books are at, who owns each book, just because they're around a place that has magic, which is now technically the entire world, because all the Titans died and just sort of leached magic into the universe. Like, how do you guys describe how magic works? And then you're like, okay, well, mages use math, and so there's just this big debate between you two of like how certain things work and how the mathematics of wizardry, you're not 100% sure on how it works, but you know that like they can quantify mana in the world and they can do this. And she's like, well, that doesn't make sense because magic is built in a person and derived from items crafted from Titans. And you're like, well, no, because magic from Titans is now all over the place because they've leached magic into the world. And so there's just this back and forth for like another hour. And Aram, you just watch as they seem to almost be arguing, but like not violent arguing. It's more like two scholars being way
It's like a
too
debate.
enthused. Yeah, they're way too enthusiastic with their version of whatever they're trying to fight for. And as this is happening, she's literally editing the card in front of you, Mai, and rewriting stuff. And you can tell that her knowledge of how these sigils work is like the original knowledge of how these sigils work. So she's going very quickly to like rewrite and edit these. And you can imagine that her assistance will probably be pretty good when it comes to writing your own new versions of things.
Let's go.
You do have the assistance of her added to your assets, I suppose. should you come back here often to converse, learn, and craft new spells or new magic items using sigils. This sigil magic, though, is effectively being rewritten from the start. So this is an entire magic system that hasn't existed for 1,000 years. Which means
Yeah.
it's basically a new system that you guys are kind of completely redesigning.
It's essentially just a magic system taking inspiration from a previous magic system.
Exactly. It has the same rules. It's just now that modern knowledge has moved on from what was back then. You could theoretically be more descriptive in your spells. You can be more defined in the rules of things. You do notice that this does result in more magic use than what they did back then. For some reason, when the consensus was more vague, the spells were easier to cast, but also not quite as detailed or easy to control. Functions needed to be like 3 times as long to get things to work, whereas now it's like, well, no, here's how we define this now, and it's like, oh shit, we can cut like half of this out of how we used to think this works, because now you literally have how the thing works, which results in a more refined system. It just costs a lot of magic, a lot of mana. Spells that mathematically you're fairly certain should only cost like a first level spell slot seem to cast like a second level or maybe like a 1.5 style when done through this system. But you also know that you could make those sigils with somebody else's magic as a base, like say Kialdecrit's name, in which case then the spell becomes 0.5 the cost instead of 1. because now you're not using the mana yourself, you're using the name of somebody else to do the magic. It's a complicated system. You imagine this could take a lifetime to design a new magic, but you imagine you are groundbreaking right now.
Let's go.
And now Caliana, what? No, just kidding. As she says, she's going to the bathroom.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Go.
Ah!
Fucking run. But yeah, so eventually, me and you will have to go over how certain things end up going. Like I know how the system will end up working because Dungeon Master, but also, if we end up switching systems from D&D, then obviously it's gonna work a little differently. Um, but we are probably going to add some new spells to your repertoire. We'll probably advance the sigil that represents Mai's name. Thanks to this, now that you know how to more accurately define things, some of your powers might get some new boosts, some new abilities, as well as you'll probably gain some new spells.
Oh yeah.
But that'll be after some downtime and some more research into your personal things. Right now, you're still working on like editing and changing things.
The
that, like,
overarching, yeah.
you're trying to learn how to properly do it first. You're like, oh, I could probably do this with my name next, and then I can do this with this spell, and then I can do this. And then she'll be like, well, yeah, but you gotta and so it's just a big long debate. Soon thereafter, Cabra will come back along with a few crew members. It seems they're pretty worse for wear other than Cabra. Like, a lot of them seem to be pretty beat to shit. And Cabra will walk over to Rigel. So, turns out the tower is mostly ruined.
Hmm.
However, defenses in some of the other sections have turned on and are still going.
That explains. I'll just gesture all at him.
You just gestured to all of me.
Yes.
Turns out, those golems that you had told us about are indeed a problem.
Uh-huh.
But we were able to clear most of the sections out that were directly near us, as well as we have a clear shot to that central room. It has collapsed on top of itself, but we did find the corpse of your ally. Caldecrit, I believe, was the dragon's name.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
I am uncertain if you need that corpse, but as it is your friend, you do have the rights to take that out of here, and as he is a savior, it is fine for you all to take control of that. If you'd like, we can contact a priest of, and gestures towards Aram down below, a priest of Soul, either a diocese or otherwise, a bishop, to cast a resurrection spell, should you need it. And you will have overheard this probably.
Does Mike get any feeling from her connection with Caldecrit?
Yeah. You once again, this feeling is like it's a slow welling for a moment. But as you hear this, you finally get like a faint voice go, I'm fine.
uh-huh.
Give me a day. Patch. And then I can be there. or
Okay.
wherever. But don't have them try to revive me. It is a waste of money and resources.
And then there
I
will
will
be
kind
two
of like
of them.
wave her hand. We're good.
I guess we're good. What do we wait? If what the body? Does it just stay there? Does it just decay?
I would like if you could reclaim my corpse. Or wait until the middle of tomorrow and I can get it myself.
Well,
We
they're
could just
offering.
hang
We
out
could get it
here.
moved.
I mean, we could also just hang around here for a little while longer, do some more research if we need it.
That's
And
true.
while
It's not
and
like
while
it was
you're
hard to get here.
yeah, I was gonna say, while you're saying that, Trishka will like look over and like raise her hand. At which point, as she does, Rigel, you finally notice that there's somebody standing right next to Mai. um, Trishka will like raise her puppet hand, her porcelain digit hand. Go. There is resting rooms in the library. Should you wish to stay here, that goes for any members with cards. The library can house up to, I believe, 700 people.
It's a lot of people.
Bro, resting room in a library sounds fantastic and also terrifying at the same time.
The rooms were designed
Well,
for my scholars originally, but I don't see why we can't rent them out or allow them usage to people holding cards for the time being. Which does remind me, and the card that she was working on with you, Mai, she actually will clip close and go, "This is your new card."
Ooh. Upgrade.
This is a scholar's card, which means you have access to any book in the library, regardless
Oh.
of rules or restrictions. Effectively, it means you work with/for me, which means you have access to all of my research and all future researches. Which I hope means that you and that dragon friend of yours will also work with me. He seemed amenable to research projects.
I'm certain we'll both enjoy coming back.
Wonderful. So that scholar card will get you whatever you want, much like his card allowed him access. Mostly because I was scared of what a red dragon wanted to do with the library, but I do believe his fascination with books and knowledge will uh, drive him to be much like myself. I do still fear that he's a dragon, though, so keep an eye on him for me.
I mean, I kind of work for him as well, so
I assumed. There's a big glowing red ball of fire directly in the center of your chest, which would be concerning, but you seem to be quite knowledgeable, and the book floating around you, and she literally points at the book that is in your soul, like literally the book that is your manifestation of power that is invisible to everybody else. She literally points at it and goes, plus that book seems very useful.
it is really great to have.
Uh, think about how to
But
No.
but yeah. So if you guys would like to stay in the library, you may. And should you wish to do any more research, you may. Or we can just skip straight forward to where Kale the Crit arrives and reclaims his body sometime at the middle of lunch the next day. Oh hey, there's one of the variants.
oh, I gotta wait. I'm on stream delay. It's like a real bad stream delay too, because I'm on high quality. Oh, it's green! Oh, it's green!
There's a 10% chance for biohazard, and there's a 10% chance for cursed.
Oof.
Ooh.
But yes, is there anything you guys would like to do? You guys are technically still in the Republic, so if you wanted to, you could just go up.
Up.
Wow.
Ooh,
I-
Jimmy's random color didn't random color me.
No!
It did, but it chose
Was that what
white.
made you shake?
Yeah.
Yeah!
I can run it back
The
though.
random color was white.
Mm-hmm. A
Ah.
candy cane. There we go.
Hell yeah.
Candy cane and covered in blood. Rude.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I gotta get that cursed one and the biohazard. I haven't seen them yet.
But yeah,
Sorry, you can continue. I'm gonna just keep doing this for a
is
little
there
bit.
anything else that you guys wanted to look for or check out or do? You are in the Republic technically, so if you wanted to, you could just go back up and go to anything you need to. Akshir is also down here with you guys if you need Akshir for any reason. There are members of multiple guilds down here. There are options. There are places you can go, things you can do, or you can just say that you're just reading books until, you know, Gallacrit shows up at noon of tomorrow.
I think Mai would want to continue working with Trixia both this day and the next day up until Gallacrit coming along. Also resting in the library, so
Okie dokie. Anybody else?
I don't have anything else I need to do, but if anyone else goes to like scout or explore or anything, I'll go with them to help. That's what I can be doing in my time.
Okay.
I will do the same thing.
All right.
Or I can visit another country.
You could. You have the
Vanilla
access.
does.
And in fact, for the sake of investigating the other quadrants, the other sections, Trixia does, for a moment, have a conversation with Cabra, startling him for a moment when she walks up to him and he goes, "Holy shit, there's a person there." She will inform him that she can, thanks to the assistance of, and points at Mai, she can start sending drones out into the other sections if she wants to, by changing the part of the drone that basically says use the library's magic to use ambient magic. She does say they won't be super useful, but they can move stuff, and importantly, they can go forward first for the sake of traps. She explains that the drones are literally actively produced here in the library consistently and constantly, and that all the parts available are available throughout this particular place. So
Whoa.
there's immediate assistance given to Cabra and the rest of the crew, as she will begin sending out drones into the rest of the sections. She does inform people of some of the other individuals, not necessarily security systems, but like what the other tower mages probably have within their sections. Sort of going through each of the tower mages and being like, okay, so this is what, Tyrendel does. This is how Tyrendel normally sets stuff up. High chance is that Tyrendel's section has workshops. probably mostly like prototype builds of things, which means those will probably be the worst golems to fight because they'll probably have some really fucked up weapons that he designed. A lot of the security system will be weird and customized, most likely, because Tyrandel literally is the crafter. Um, and then if you go into Neralas, it's probably mostly traps and not much in the way of guards because they were an assassination group, ran the Shadowed Tower. Like, just going through all sorts of information with Cabra of the other sections and what probably is there. And does explain that there is a possibility that there are other Archmages still alive in those sections, if that's how they decided to do it. Everyone had their own secret plans, their own secret designs on how to gain immortality, or some sort of greater consciousness or existence beyond the Empire. Each Tower Mage had their own designs on stuff, and she doesn't know what any of the other Archmages were planning on doing. You guys would know of Alshander's, which was to basically turn into an avatar of a god, an ancient eldritch god. And then you guys probably know what Maldir Vane was kind of doing, which was, or not Maldir Vane, sorry, the mad dude. Fuck, what was his
Vandal.
name? Vandal. That was his name. Good lord.
Oh, so close.
Yeah, Vandal of the Seventh Tower, who was the like mad dude who apparently built himself into the systems of the entire facility because he like hijacks random drones. You guys also haven't seen him in a while. No drones have been showing up to do anything. And then Tricksha, you could probably guess, is whatever this creature is, this entity, this like puppet thing in front of you. Each Archmage had their own designs, had their own ideas of how to gain some sort of power or immortality beyond the reach of the Empire. They were all given a level of independence within the Empire that was probably not a great idea, but hey. Country built on powerful magics. Turns out, if you give those mages unchecked power, they do all sorts of crazy shit. At which point, Cabra and the crews will begin their way back around, and you guys do start seeing more people showing up from the other group that originally came down from the tower section. So there's just a whole shit ton of people in the library now. I say shit ton. It's a massive library, and there was like a total of 50 people between both expeditions, plus the extras that ended up showing up later. So like, it's not that many people for a 700-person library, but there's way more people than there was before. You guys are able to rest through the night. I don't know if you guys need a long rest. I don't think you guys actually did anything since last time.
Rude.
Oh, do we need to do level or whatever?
Oh, yeah, you might need to do the update command if you did your level ups. I think Aram is the only one who hasn't leveled up technically. Still.
Oh,
Wait, did I level up?
I'm just gonna level up Angel.
I don't know if I leveled. Wait, I did. Did I?
Total of 15.
I think you
to update
did.
if you haven't leveled
Yeah.
yet.
I want to say that you did, or at least you messaged into the whatchamacallit to do
Oh, but
it.
maybe I didn't do update. Let's see.
Yeah, everybody else probably just needs to update.
And then she.
And then long rest.
Wait, did that change? No, it didn't change.
Looks like it did not. Let me look at Kalyanaj page here.
Wait,
real
no,
quick.
this did. 102. This one did. We'll do it again. Do it again.
It might just be
There we go,
behind.
there we
it
go.
did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say it definitely did. It's probably just behind because you definitely have level 7 Scion, according to your character sheet.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, you guys are able to get a long rest here in the library. There are individual study rooms. You could tell that they're built for scholars. Um, the rooms individually are actually built for 2 people at a time. It seems that there's 2 sets of desks on each side of the room. There's 2 beds on each side of the room, and then there's sort of like a central like table right between the 2 sets, as well as there's sort of a pull-out curtain between each of those sections between the beds and the table at the center, so you can sort of divide up your rooms should you want to. However, there's not very many people in here, so you could just take up an entire double room on your own. Um, but they're obviously designed for like 2 scholars to be working at the same time and to be able to like either collaborate or do whatever, as well as it's a sort of bunkhouse slash, hey, we can just save a little bit of room. But there's a lot of rooms. You guys are able to get your long rest, and in the morning there are people at the sort of central tables of the library, consuming food and whatnot. A lot of people brought some stuff with them, as well as there is even more people down here now. It seems like the Mages Guild was notified that the library is now open properly. And you can see that towards the back of the library, Triksha is sort of standing there with a few mages, and they are in the process of setting up a teleportation circle in the library.
Nice.
Yeah, Triksha will sort of look back and see that Mai is awakened, the person who helped her quite a bit, and Triksha will walk over and go, "Well, we found a way, a modern way, might I add, to get people down here easier. Apparently, it's going to take a few times of casting this spell. Apparently, it needs to be cast every single day for an entire year in order for the circle to become permanent. So that sounds like a pain.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But your mages from the Mages Tower wish to teleport both up and down from here constantly, so it should be quite simple to maintain. I will say the mages coming down here are very different from the mages I'm used to back in my day, but hopefully we can work something out. They seem to be scholars, but they also seem to be quite personalized in their researches. We had our secrets, obviously, between the Archmages, but we normally shared our research. Whereas, and she like gestures, and you see there are like a couple of wizards or sorcerers down here that have books with them and have like a bunch of space between them and another wizard or mage. Apparently, no one in the modern day likes to study with other people. Or at least with people who are not a part of their group. And looks over towards another section, and you see what's probably a wizard who is a lead of a particular like research team, and only that team is around them. They're all sort of dressed in the same colors with the same iconography. Well, my library was open to anyone, so I won't tell them how to live and how to research properly.
I couldn't help a little chuckle at that comment.
If they plan on taking information or breaking any of these books, I will break their backs. And she turns and walks back towards the magic circle.
I like her.
Yeah, there's this weird, like, she moves way too fluidly, and that's probably because she's, like, a mechanical entity currently, but beyond that, she seems alright. It takes a few hours before, and you constantly see the teleportation circle firing, just a lot of people coming and going at this point. Mostly a lot of people coming in because it's early morning, so people are just waking up and being like, "Holy shit, we have access! Go, 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 go!" So it's just team after team after team just entering into the library, until finally only one person shows up, and it is a individual that you recognize. So he seems a bit younger than original. As a Healdecrit who looks to be maybe early 20s now, with no beard, sort of that pitch black hair, red bits of like a suit on him, black pants, deep red suit, with a red tie. Like, he looks like himself if he were like 20 years younger than his original human form. Shows up
It's a baby.
from the teleportation circle.
A child.
Right. Apparently, my body is down at the tower, so I'm going to go there first, and I will be right back.
Oh, he's gonna go get all his shit. I was like, why is he gonna go down there? Oh wait, he has stuff.
I have to go get my body. Yeah,
Mhm.
I have to go find my corpse.
What are you gonna do with it?
He's got stuff in his pockets.
What am I going to do with the body of an ancient red dragon? Well, I imagine
Yeah.
I'll probably sell the scales and the fangs and the claws. They're pretty useful. The bones could probably be manufactured into something as well. The blood of dragons is considered quite powerful,
That's what I
apparently.
was thinking.
So I plan on selling that as well. Basically, every part of my body is worth a lot of money to most people. Why? Do you need something from my corpse?
If you want to give me stuff, sure. I was just curious.
I'll give you a 2% discount on whatever their price is. And he turns and begins to walk towards the...
I like him. I like younger him.
And he will go and retrieve his corpse while the rest of you are able to actually eat some brunch or some lunch, probably with some research that you had done before. There's just a lot of more mages showing up. By the time you're at like midday, this library seems like it's trying to work at full capacity. You imagine this library is probably going to get a lot of use up until the point when all the knowledge has been drained from it, at which point then it'll be slightly more normal, but it's still going to be a massive library because it's fucking huge. As well as you can hear Triksha talking with one of the other mage groups and talking about bringing information from other libraries down into here.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, it seems like she's working on deals with other people to bring more information down here so that she can begin to categorize and add to the library. She gets a few mages to explain how the like spatial magic works these days, the like conversion of sizes and being able to make a location that's larger on the inside than it is on the outside, basically, like your guys' carriage originally. And definitely now. Although now it's more like a portal. And you can tell that she's planning on probably expanding this portion of the facility. She's probably going to, rather than actually go out into the other sections of the facility, she's probably going to wall off the other sections and is going to use that magic to make this library larger and larger and larger and larger. So there's just going to be this massive library that exists as like a little wedge underneath the Republic for forever now, assuming she gets her way. And she's gonna try to make it a repository of information. And you guys have heard that the like mages guilds, the guild of magical doers, they have their own libraries and stuff as well that people can go into and So it seems as if she's just trying to get as much of that out as possible, focusing on history and how things work. Oh God, I see the yeah, I see the icon. Yeah, the crit will come back to you guys, and right. So that was a hell of a fight we all went through. It seems you're all quite well rested. What is the
So your skin looks a
plans?
lot nicer.
What was that?
So do you. Your skin looks a lot nicer.
He sort of like squints and goes, "Thank you."
Fresh and revitalized.
Right. Give me a year and I'll be back up to my full size. Of course, until then, I'm working with what I have. So, while I appreciate it, I will be back to normal. Oh, and importantly, I'll be pure red again, which is nice. No longer stuck with blue fragments or gray pieces all over me. Your scales as well, and gestures towards mine. You'll be a lovely pure red as well. Now, what am I to expect from your party next? I've assisted you quite a bit. I've gotten most of what I wanted. What are your plans? I say to people who are typing.
Ooh, I have no plans. But whatever your plans are for that one invisible tower, still gotta let me know.
Right. I will gladly go with you all to see whatever that place is. It seemed interesting. Not sure if you want to get other assistance before we go, or if you all need preparations or to go home or whatever first.
Nope.
But it's up to you all. I don't plan on putting myself in danger's way as much as I did previously, so don't expect it. So, what would you guys like to do? In the library, Gallagher's here. If you guys would like, you can go straight into downtime, and you can decide what you guys want to do over a longer period of time, rather than instantaneously. So if you guys have like, if you guys want to plan out like a month of, other miscellaneous stuff you guys wanted to have done or do, that's fine. Or you can just go straight into another adventure. You can go straight into like, we want to go to that invisible weird place, that invisible like mansion thingy that was in the south.
I mean, I don't think that building's going nowhere. Downtime might be a good idea for some of us.
You can go check in on your investments. You can go and start making some investments. could check in on all the different people you know around the world that you can actually pretty easily get to these days, thanks to magic and assistance from other people, and the fact that Rigel's technically a lord of a country that now has access to the rest of the world,
Ooh.
finally. Seeing
We
as
got some
Nostra
big
is now more.
downtime.
Hmm.
There was one thing I've been wanting to look into /
Mhm.
try.
Mm-hmm.
Like an adventurers guild kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
to set one up somewhere. That's my biggest question is where though.
Ah, you want to try to make a branch of an adventurers guild somewhere?
Yes.
So most major cities have their own sort of center, as it were, of adventurers. Um, adventurers are most common in the Kingdom of Efrit. Obviously, it's literally called the Kingdom of Adventurers. A lot of people just claim it as a territory of adventurers. But then a lot of the larger cities around places have adventuring guilds. Um, obviously, you've been to one. You're registered technically and got a mission from one to go clear out a dragon problem. You don't know of any active ones in Innostra currently,
That's what I was thinking.
because Innostra was technically a closed-off country for a long time there. It was a country at civil war for 100+ years, so it's been a while.
Yeah, and Nostra was kind of the only one I could think of that didn't probably already have loads of things.
Mm-hmm. You guys can even just be like, fuck it, we want to go somewhere completely different, somewhere that's not on my map that I've currently made. You guys could just go to the Far East if you wanted to. You can go to you can go to the south. You can try to go to like the Golden Kingdom if you wanted to. You can go to Mai's country if you wanted to. You can go to the Wildlands.
Cool.
Which is somewhere none of you other than Rogma has been to, technically.
Yep.
Eh. It's hot down there.
Can be, yeah. It is quite far south. You guys can go to somewhere where nobody's been before, which would be like the Empire of Etronia.
The Bujada marshlands.
Wha-
That place is fucked up.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's part of the Wildlands. It's the west portion of the Wildlands.
You ever
My
get those like those earworms of like words that get stuck in your head
Yes.
and you just gonna repeat them? Bujada marshlands is one of them for me. And it's Carthan's fault.
Just randomly. Bujada marshlands.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I'll just be going through my day. I'll like be combing my hair or something or writing something down. I'm just like, Bujada. Bujada marshlands.
Shout out Bujad. Yeah, it is Bujatta, I think.
Yes, Bujata.
Yeah.
It was like if
It's
somebody had
hot.
difficulty speaking and tried to say bruschetta.
Mm. What's a Bunjata? It's got an N in it, believe it or not.
Oh,
Oh, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Oops.
Bunjata Marshlands.
Oops, my earworm is wrong.
Bunjata.
I gotta look at my notes. I don't think I wrote it in my notes like that.
Honestly,
Oops.
it makes sense because earworms tend to get some words that are
Mhm.
Yeah,
not said
you say
often
it too
enough.
often.
Yeah. You say it too often incorrectly. It'll be like Yeah, this is how it's. Oh wait,
Oops.
so you're gonna say something about my?
Oh, I was saying, Mai probably knows about that. The Bajada Marshlands. He'd probably know the tribes that live there, right? The Najaris, the Friaiku, I think is what they're called, which are the like alligators and frog folk, uh, as well as the swan folk that exist there. Like there's a few tribes there that exist. Uh, the races that exist there generally for beast folk or beastkin are alligator, swan, owl, turtle, frog, snake, and then all sorts of different like lizard uh, types.
They got a really cool tree there that has pearls on it.
Wow.
Yeah, they do. That would be in Bujada City, which is the capital of the Bujada territory. Got a massive willow tree at the center, weeping tree that has like these pearls that hang from its fronds into the water. They do pearl
That's
diving.
You gotta be
vaguely
careful.
similar to a movie, huh?
You can do pearl diving. You go underwater and you can grab pearls, and they say don't go too far deep, and don't get touched by the willows because it fucking grabs you.
Yeah. As half fire genasi, that was a no-no.
Oh,
Hmm. Yeah, there's all sorts of cool places, all sorts of countries and stuff that exist around that aren't technically on this map that I have yet because I kind of stopped making this map after a while. Unfortunately, I kind of got out of making it. I should probably continue making it or at least update parts of it at this point. But that doesn't mean the territories don't exist. The territories are still all the same. I know where everything is. Out in the North Sea, you got the pirates of the North Sea. You got the Jagged Alliance. A bunch of kingdoms in the north. You can go to the southern continent. Go to the Empire of Ghanem.
The Empire of Gotham. What?
The Empire of Gangnam Style.
Got 'em.
The Great Sand Sea has Aladresh and the Hazmat Sultanate. East has the Sun Empire, the Moon Empire, and just the Far East. In the south, you have the Empire of Etronia and the Wildlands Federation. You got the Storm King's Valley, which you guys have actually been to. Which has changed a little bit. And Efrit and the Golden Kingdom, which actually is on this map, I think. Yeah. You get past the Untamed Feldwoods, you get to the Golden Kingdom. You get to the Golden Keep down here, at which point that's where I kind of stopped. We were almost to the Wildlands. Almost. We were so close.
adventure.
Up to you. Wherever you guys would like to go. The world is your oyster. If you like oysters. If not, then it's your corn dog.
We had cheese corn dog,
Of course.
potatoes on the outside.
I had a bratwurst corn dog. That shit was good.
Well,
The world is your nachos. True. True, Jimmy.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Words of wisdom from the best mod.
And you got ones that aren't even listed in the OneNote, like the Archduchy of Cezanne and the Union of Brute Gill, I think, which aren't listed here. For some reason, I don't know why I don't have them listed. Whoops. So to be fair, I'm missing quite a few countries now on my list of OneNote stuff.
Oh,
Rude.
But yeah, what would you guys like to do? What is next for the party? What are your plans? If you don't have any, then we can just go strictly downtime. You guys can decide where you want to go there. You guys can sort of talk about what you guys would want to do for a little while. You know, actually take some time off in your characters' views, basically, to just do
eh,
miscellaneous non-saving the universe stuff. Um,
Might be a good idea. Hasn't it been a couple of days, like a week at minimum, that our characters just going back to back to back?
Yeah, a rest
Mhm.
sounds nice to Aram.
eh,
And I know
check in
Mai
on
wants
A
to,
spa day.
and I know Mai would want to put some
Spa.
focus on the sigils.
okay. All right. Then, what I'm going to do is we're going to try to figure out about how much time will be needed to sort of do what everybody would want to do in downtime. Um, which means I'll obviously need information from you all on what you would like to do during a downtime. I'm not going to do an immediate like set amount of time. I have an idea of when something will happen. Um, but there may be a few random hooks that happen based on what you guys decide to do. So for downtime, how long does it take you guys approximately before one of you wants to go back to the fort? The Fulmination Station.
Uh,
I
I
know
can't
Mai
remember
could
what.
theoretically stay here for a long time.
Me as soon as we're done, because
Yeah.
if I wanna, I gotta talk to the boy about setting up a thing there. Should probably get his okay.
Okay. So, Rigel, you want to have a conversation with Alistair. Good lord.
See,
It's been so long.
I'm just going to call him Al for a second here. Convo with Al
Ow.
call me Al.
Al's
about
big
steps.
barn.
All right. I know that Rigel wants to have conversations about adventurer stuff. I know that Mai wants to continue. I can spell. I swear to God. Continue to work on updating / learning sigil magics. What else we got? Aram, do you have any downtime plans?
I hate this and love this at the same time.
Was she paying attention to what I was saying?
Yeah, she said she typed in chat. She said she wants to work more with the Fire Realm people in her world.
Except Game Master asked Aram.
Oh no, she wasn't paying attention to what
Yeah.
you were saying.
Yeah. Turns out
Dang
she
it.
wasn't.
Al, Aram, what's the difference?
Nah.
Al, Cal, Aram.
Yeah.
They're all the same.
Lady.
If it's not Rogma, it's out of my brain, okay?
Okay, Aram.
All right, Melinda.
That's even worse.
Okay, so Cal.
Like I can't, at least for mine personally, I can't remember where I left off with. I remember I was doing something with like, uh, was it like garden stuff.
Yeah, you're like
and-
farming.
Yeah, I was like farming, and
Yeah.
I was
So
trying-
you
I was-
have an asset at this point. So you have a tier 2 farming asset in
Yeah.
your base, which will pay you out about 2,000 gold.
Hell yeah.
Every season.
Hell yeah.
Which is effectively every 2 months, because it's 1 month per season. Sorry, 2 months per season. Good lord. 1 month per
That'd be a
half
fast
season.
winter, spring, summer, fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Just money, 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 money.
So it's effectively every 60 days you would get 2k gold.
Hell yeah.
We'll set it up so that your payout is at the same time as
Oh, and I'd want to trade them so that I have more people that I can summon if need be. Because I think I can summon one dude right now.
you can. Yeah, you can summon the what's his last name? Fuck. You can summon the knight dude.
Oh, you're right. I have my book. Potato just messaged me about my book that teaches me things. I have to do that too. I forgot about my book.
You
you
do.
have to study.
You have a book that's willing to talk to you and teach you time magic.
So I got multiple tentacles to do multiple things. So yeah, I'm gonna do all that. I'm gonna book. I'm gonna
So,
make them train.
Here's a thing. Could you give me an intelligence check, please?
Oh.
Separate your
Uh-oh.
physical body and your conscious
Check
body.
intelligence.
Oh my god.
Okay. So yeah, it's a bit of a juggle. But you are able to attempt to work on stuff. So you got your Far Realm investments. You got your time magic book. Evil question mark? You obviously have your lovely little dragon companion who's more like a pet.
Yeah, he's with me the whole time.
Hell,
Drakwood.
yeah.
And I baby him. He's a little baby.
Rigel, is there anything else here? I'm just gonna post this so you guys can see that at least. Rigel, what else do you want to do?
Well, combo with Al, but adventure stuff. And I guess I would set up the adventurer stuff. And just check up on the shops.
Okay.
'Cause I don't
okay,
know how
okay.
long it's been since I've been there.
You'll manage some investments. Ma, you're working on the updating and learning of sigil magics. Is there anything else you wanted to try to learn, do, or investigate?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay. Aram, what are you doing?
I'm hanging out in my church house place if we're back in
Okay.
town, and getting things squared away for more frequent visits.
All right. So,
I'd
yes.
also like to get, if there's a chance that I can try and get a teleporter ring thing in my church to the Fulmination Station and back. So I have a
Oh,
quick
teleportation circle. So
Yeah.
no, but
monies. Dang it.
if you get if Rigel just gives you what the sigil is to the Fulmination Station area or to the Innostra, center of Innostra, you can just go to any Soul Syndicate teleportation circle and just be like, just send me here, and they'll be like, okay, and they'll just teleport you there. You literally don't have to pay anything to get through those, because spoilers, they're not gonna fucking tell an angel that she can't go somewhere.
I don't need your permission.
Yeah, exactly. You have like a picture of the sigil. You just walk. You stand in the middle of the circle. They're all just like staring at you, like, "Oh God, what's she gonna do?" You hold it up, and they go, "Okay," and they just send you immediately.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so you've been working at the cathedral / with the cathedral. You do learn that there is indeed going to be another angel placed in that cathedral as well.
Hmm.
Because you are considered an adventurer at this point. You are considered a go out and doer agent, as it were. So you do get to eventually meet one of the other Death Pact angels that's going to exist here.
Someone coming over and taking over my freaking church. Yeah.
Smack him.
Indeed.
I don't like them
Oh.
already.
Okay, so do you go back to the fort for rests, or do you just stay in the library?
I think she would just stay in the library, potentially bouncing ideas off of Trixia and Caldecrit.
Okay.
I'll check on Maya. She's staying down in the library. I'll like keep an eye on Maya too. I'll bounce back and forth between my church and making sure she's okay.
Right, so we basically have two downtime crews then. We have the crew that's staying in the Republic, and we've got the crew that can go home, or does have like a home to go to. Mai technically does, but Mai is obviously engrossed in study at this point. So, Nigel and Cal, when you go home, after another day or whatever, it doesn't really matter how long it takes in this particular case. By the time we finish whatever stories it is, then I'll decide how long it actually took for everything to happen. When you get home, when you get back to the Fulmination Station, after Aram gives Cal a hug before she goes, feel free to if you guys ever want to roleplay any individual section, feel free to tell me.
Big hug.
Mm.
Oh, I can't.
Yee. Don't forget to write. I'll see you soon.
But you could just visit.
That's true.
That's where you do the big like goodbye. They teleport away, and you literally visit them in like an hour. You're like, I couldn't wait.
I couldn't wait. I had to see you.
Oh, you forgot something?
It's 100% what I'm trying to do.
You guys are able to get home. Teleporting either into the town or whatever. Do you guys want to actually go straight to the fort for the first bit, or is Rigel on a like warpath to go see Alistair?
Oh,
It would depend on
hold
the
on.
time of day. But like, if it's the middle of the night, no, or it's
I
always night.
mean,
But it's also not night.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So when you guys teleport there, the first thing you notice is that it is nighttime there.
But is it nighttime or is it nighttime?
Which means the relic got turned back on,
Eh,
Yay.
as it is an Inostran moon that is in the sky. It is neither of the primary moons that exist within the sky in the setting. It is instead the very obvious white moon that is unnatural compared to literally the rest of the world. That exists within the sky. So it is the Inostran relic that keeps an infinite night over this sky. That is the first thing you notice.
eh.
If you are not immediate about wanting to go and see Alistair, then you're able to go home. It's fine. You can catch up with Alistair, and we'll get onto that in a moment. But if you're not too super worried about immediately getting to it, then what is going to immediately happen is when you get home, you are greeted by your butler dude, the vampire,
Hello.
who will greet you, grant you all food, and will inform you that Shadrinth is back,
Oh.
and it seems as if she got injured.
Oh.
Oh,
No. Oh.
however, she is still just as unwilling to cooperate as expected, and has basically told him nothing. So he's just been taking care of her, as one would expect of the house servant.
Where is she?
He will gesture towards the sort of dining room you guys have, that sort of lower food area.
She's so grounded.
We gonna go talk with her. Let's go sit.
All right. You find her sitting in her human form, which is a very young child. Sort of flowing black hair, a sort of ashen dress. Her left arm, no, sorry, her right arm is completely missing from the base of the shoulder,
Oh.
Oh.
as well as she seems to have what looks to be a rather large bite mark, sort of shown on a portion of her dress. It is covered underneath, but you can tell the scaling that is represented on her human form dress is probably the scaling that her actual body has, and there is a like large bite through a portion of it, big enough that it's like most of her body. It does not seem that most of it has been damaged. It seems she's just missing the right arm. But if what damage is shown on her human form dress is what her actual body has, it probably didn't look good.
Who
And
did this?
she immediately looks up, and she's got like bits of food in front of her, but she's not actually eating. And she looks over towards you and goes, "Uh, I so a dragon did this to me."
Which one?
Uh, well, I don't exactly know its name. Um, yeah, it's all right. No worries. She'll like sort of shy away from you because obviously she's been very, very like teenager. Don't bother me ever since you guys met her originally. And she seems to be acting slightly more childish currently. You can see a level of fear is still there. So she does like sort of do the shy away, but it's not the like, "Don't touch me, mom." It's the, "Are you going to hurt me next?" kind of shying away for a moment, and then sort of stops and lets you fuss over her. Raja, you still swear you see her roll her eyes at that though. I don't. I. He takes a deep breath. I don't know, but it was like one of us, like me or Drookfoot. It was a mutant. It was different. It was not a normal dragon. It-
Where were you?
To the east of here, northeast. It called for a lot of us mutants like it, uh, dragons that don't that aren't the same as normals. There was a lot of us there. I don't know why I went, but it called. Then it ate.
Oh,
I think it wanted our mutations. It wanted us. I got away, obviously. Um, there were a few larger dragons that didn't, though. I don't know what it was. It was different, massive. And and she like looks down at where her right arm should be. It Well, it did get me a bit. It didn't do as much as some of the others. Quite a
Others
few of
attacked
us.
you? Or was it just the one?
No, just the one, but had so many mouths.
oh,
I don't really know much else about it. It was a dragon. It didn't look like a dragon. It looked different. It was a mutant, like us. And I'm not quite as mutant as it was, obviously, being that I'm just a different color and ashy. But it was even more mutant than Drukvod is, with his like tendrily wings. It was weird. A lot of heads.
How are you?
I'm okay now. I'm good. I'm good. I am good now. Um, you said I could stay here still, right?
As long as you want.
Yes, sweetie, you can stay with us however long you want.
She's like being shaked back and forth as you say that. Her head sort of bouncing back and forth. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It was more comfortable to eat like this, but I think I'm gonna stick in my dragon form for a while after this. I gotta get used to flying again. I'll show you. And she sort of like weasels her way out of Cal's grip for a second as that blackish flame will sort of appear behind her, and she'll sort of step through it and begin the transformation into her dragon form. As she steps out, and you can see that now, yes, indeed. So her right arm, sort of at where the shoulder would be, is gone, and there's bits and pieces. There's fragments of what was probably the remainders of like a piece of bone or like a fragment of it. It does seem to have healed over mostly. But then there is a second bite that is taken from sort of the same angle, but is all the way to where like almost to her left side from her right side is where the teeth went in on both the top and bottom. And you can see that it has sort of injured the base of her left wing. So it took a bite over her. Her right wing and her like the right piece of her body would have been inside the mouth at that point, and the bite had sort of crunched down. So there's teeth marks through her left wing into what would be the left portion of her body. It seems like it did get a grasp, but it doesn't look like it um, did much beyond just tear that portion of her wing and get a grip into her scales. You can see where the scales have been wedged apart, where teeth marks are. But it doesn't look like it was deep enough to be like internal damage. It was more like somebody pierced the skin and then something probably got it to let go, or maybe she weaseled out of it, or something happened to get her out of it. But yeah, it looks pretty injured. Looks like she'll probably still be able to fly. But she definitely took two pretty big hits.
We're gonna have to see about healing you.
He looks over and goes, I don't need any more. I'm fine.
You're
I've been
not
here.
fine.
Rigel becoming the protective daddy.
You swear you hear her like give a little grumble. She like sits down. She's still only about the size of like a mid to large dog, like a black lab dragon basically at this point is the maximum size. Sort of like a 6-year-old on all fours, just slightly larger than that, basically. So not a very large dragon. Um, but she sort of sits down and does like a little huff as she sits and goes, "Really, I'm okay. Your servant assisted me. He took care of me, and the
Yeah.
arm damage. I'm sure I can figure something out about that. The wing is fine. It's just a little torn on the inside. I know I can still fly. I made it here. I'll be fine. I'll be." Sits up. I'll be okay. I'll just stay here for a while.
Can
Well-
Cal help heal, or is this far beyond her level?
You probably can. So, let me check. I don't know if you have access to the spell because your druid level actually isn't individually that high. What was your druid? Is it 10? Is it 9? It was 9, right?
9, yeah.
So yeah, you would still need 1, 2, 3. You would need to get to 13th level, I think,
Oh.
to be able to cast a spell that would like instantly make it better, which would be the spell Regenerate, which is a 7th level transmutation spell. But you do know you have a bunch of friends here in Anostra, and you literally know a fuck. Was he a planetar? I think he's a planetar. You know a very powerful angel that works at a church in Blood Rose's place, if you remember, in the Ebon Fort. You guys have literally
Oh.
met that
Big tall green dude.
angel. Yeah.
Yeah. He could help.
Big tall green boy. We know people that could help. It'll be fine. It's no worries. You need to regain yourself. How are you supposed to fight? I thought you were all proud about being a dragon.
He hops a
red
little bit and
dragon.
goes, I can still fight. I just
Not well.
only get 1 claw attack instead of 2.
Disadvantage.
You're going anyway. And we're gonna go talk to some people and see what the heck attacked you.
I know where it was. I don't know if it moved, but I know where it was.
Well, I'm sure we can ask Mai and Caldecrit.
You say Calicrit,
They'll
and she very much is like, "Oh God, not him." You mean my father? Ugh.
Don't
No,
worry,
well,
you
now
can
he's
make
only
fun
20.
of him.
Hmm.
You'll see why when you meet him, but it'll have to be today or soon.
Okay.
I love that, Rigel. Don't worry, you can make fun of him.
Yeah, you can tell that she's still like she's very much trying to learn how to walk with only the 3 legs right now. Because as she begins to move, she's like, "Fuck right, I can't lean into my right shoulder because there's no arm there. It doesn't exist." But yeah. So that is why I was wondering if you went to the fort anytime soon, or if you guys were gonna do something else for a while, because she was just gonna be chilling there. At which point, we could roll into more things. So, what would you guys like to do next? Um, I gotta figure out how long you guys are doing stuff before, because Mai could be theoretically researching for forever, right? Like she can get deep into the frickin' weeds of how these spells work and what symbols and sigils and iconography she can do. I almost want in fact I probably will
Someone's
ask
gonna have to
for
slap her.
yeah, I'll probably ask
That's
for until an actual adventure starts, or rather at the end of this downtime, quote unquote, I'll probably just ask Rhineland, like, okay, here's your spells now. What do you want to alter them to do? Also, do you want some more spell options? And I'll just throw out like a bunch of options for you. Just be like, you can recreate a bunch of these. Which ones do you want the most of? So we might just have a conversation about that.
Okay.
In that conversation, who knows how long that'll last? I'll probably talk way too much, just like I do now. That being said, while Maya's still doing that, Rigel and Kaliana, you wish to have a conversation with Alastair first, or, I mean, because you're in the city, or do you want to head to the Ebon Fort fairly quickly to go and get Shadrin regenerated? Like, what are your plans? Which order do you wish to do things in? Where are we going?
A broken child is a
Evanforth.
priority.
To the Ebon Fort?
Evanforth.
Say the
Caldecrit.
broken child is the priority.
Yeah.
Bro, oh, my heart. Oh.
All right, you're able to head to the Ebon Fort. Upon reaching there, you can see that most things seem to be in working order. The last time you guys had problems here, not only was it not a night sky, but it was also covered in fog, and there were those weird torches. Remember, because the fog had rolled out from the cursed forest. It seems
With
to
that
have since
ghost.
yeah, it seemed to have since receded, so it is safe for you to just go to the Ebon Fort. Upon making it there, you see that they've switched back to sort of normal torches, but importantly, you can see that on their walls they still have the old the lights, the sort of anti-fog lights as well, sort of mounted at a different position at this point. So they're still keeping them up just in case they need to reuse them. But they've switched back to the standard ever torches. They open the gates for you. You guys are able to head on in, and you're able to go to the church or to the castle or wherever you would like to go.
The church.
All right.
Gotta fix up the child.
You head to the church. You see there are many priests of differing denominations, differing gods or deities, all conversing and moving about. The planetar is sort of a dead center at the back of the church here. You're welcome to go to any religious denomination, or you can just go talk to the Planetar.
Just the Planetar. Like,
Alrighty.
hello, help.
Yeah, he turns around and much like when you entered the town, many people see two dragons and are like, we're gonna keep a little bit of a wide berth. You've got a like horse-sized, like just a big old freaking blue dragon, unless he switches into his other form. But then you have a dog-sized, like what looks to be sort of a black dragon that has weird red frayings all over it. Which also probably looks a little very much like you just walked in with a chromatic dragon pair. So much of the individuals in the church have sort of moved out of the way, and the Planetar turns around and goes, "Ah, pleasure to see you all again. Well, two of your friends at least.
Yeah,
You need my
the rest
assistance."
are busy. Yes, please. Our child is injured.
Please heal her.
Sort of raises an eyebrow as he looks down at the sort of shadow dragon. Right. Child caught me off guard. Yes, I
She's
can.
a child.
That does seem to be true. I was expecting a elf, though. And he looks between you and Cal.
Oh, I didn't
Valid
like that,
assumption.
buddy. If anything, we're divorced parents.
His smile gets
Yeah,
wider, and he goes,
she's her stepmom.
Oh, okay. No, I don't get the evil stepmom role. You get the you get the evil stepdad role.
just imagining you two now turning and arguing while Shadrinth walks over and like the Planetar like just touches her for a second and her arm begins to regenerate. He's just already casting the spell while you guys are arguing who's the real parent. But he will cast Regenerate, the 7th level spell, onto Shadrinth, and sure enough, her wing instantly sort of pulls itself back together. The bits that connect to the base, as well as you literally see as the bone fragment that was sort of like covered by skins and bits begins to expand outwards. It sort of pierces out from the skin covering, and then flesh and muscles begin to form around it as the right arm reforms. He will then pull his hand away and go, "Very well. The child has been healed."
Just Gwent. Thank you.
She's all better.
My pleasure. Do feel free to come here whenever you need to. Though next time it's an expensive spell, I'll probably ask for payment.
Oh,
Or-
no payment this time?
No, of course not. And he looks towards the stained glass window, the one that actually has like some clear to it, so that it almost looks like it has black, which is just the night sky up through the window. And he sort of looks at that and goes, "If I am to believe rumors, you are the one who helped restore our sky, so free of charge. Though
Thank you.
normally I don't cast spells, so next time expect to put a donation in," and he gestures towards the other like priests and individuals running around, "to a different denomination."
Oh, okay. Be well.
And he will immediately go and begin assisting some other people. Yeah, with churches like this, there is a bunch of different followers of different patrons, basically. And so when you ask for services, normally assuming you're not asking like the head person, you would go to an individual and try to get the services out of them, or they would like recommend one of the specific believers, right? So like, oh, you need like major healing? Well, okay, the goddess of healing over there has a guy who can cast regenerate for you, but you got to put a donation in for them, and the donation is actually really just a payment. It's labeled as a donation, but yeah, you know what you're doing. You're paying for the service.
She's like, wait, so if I don't donate, will you do it?
No.
So then it's a payment.
Well, you see, 1 gold of it is a payment. The rest of it is a mandatory donation, according to taxes. No,
She's like, okay, okay.
as a non-taxed industry, pushes up glasses. No, but yeah, it's to assist individuals. It's the same reason the individual who cast Greater Restoration on you guys before was the the mechanist guy, the like pure order guy last time, was because they needed the donations the most, so he gestured for you guys to go to him first. Yeah. Adrinth has been regenerated. And it's still being called by Kaliana. Much to her chagrin. You swear you see her wincing as Kaliana picks her up and holds her like an upside down like a dog.
Mhm.
But you're able to continue what you want to do. Do you want to have any conversations with anyone else in the Ebon Fort, or are you going to go straight back to Alistair?
Nope, neither.
Ooh, what you doing?
I want to go bug Mai and Caldecrit. See if they can help
Fantastic.
figure out what the heck happened.
Okay, so I assume you're bringing Shadrinth with you.
Yes, whether she likes it or not.
Cal, you going with as well?
Yeah, might as well.
Okie dokie.
Might as well.
Hey, Mai, you suddenly have visitors. While you're down in the library, a couple of people you know teleport in, as well as Shadrinth, which you haven't seen in a while, is with in dragon form.
Hey, Shadrinth.
Looks up at you, rolls her eyes, and turns around, like walks to the side of the library and just sits down and just looks at the books for a second. She's close enough you can talk to her, but she's not acknowledging you.
I mean, it makes sense.
And Kialdecrit is relatively nearby. He's grabbed other books and is researching slightly different things from you. While he is interested in what Trishka is talking to you about, and Trishka's right there, he knows that he's going to get all that information anyways, so he's busy accumulating other info while you do the legwork on the magic for a little while.
Yeah.
But he does eventually notice you guys entered and looks back and stands up and heads over towards you guys. Rigel, you swear you hear Shadrinth under her breath go, see why they said they'd laugh at him?
It's like, yeah, I told you.
What
So,
brings you guys over here?
mhm.
We got some questions that we need answering. Shadrinth was attacked by some mutant dragon thing that called to her, and other mutant dragons. Lots of heads, lots of mouths, lots of eating.
So, like an amalgamation of sorts of dragons?
Shadrinth will step forward and be like, it did have multiple colors. Metallic, chromatic, everything. the two that attacked me, the two heads, the two things that attacked me, uh, from what I can tell, one was golden and one was blue. But I swear I saw other colors.
I will glance at Caldecrit like, I don't have anything.
Yeah, you see Caldecrit sort of in thought for a moment as he goes, and you survived.
Don't be proud of her. Come on, man.
Just like, obviously.
More just his Caldecrit's inquisitive nature versus Shadrin's pride.
Mm,
There are rumors, there have been, since well before I was even born, of why dragons beyond our natural kind seem to not exist. Mutations aren't uncommon. Looks at Shadrinth, for example. Of course, they aren't that common either. Really depends on the situation. But mutants don't propagate. In fact, most mutants disappear after being pushed out of their nests. We had theories on why. I think you might have just found it.
Good job.
Though you surviving means it didn't kill you, which means whatever it is, didn't make all the mutants disappear. There's been no direct information on this creature before.
So if we kill it, we can study it.
Caldecrit smiles a little bit and goes, yes, if we can catch it. I imagine it moves often. Though, why would it leave survivors? It have
How
a choice.
did you escape?
Shadrinth will sort of turn towards you, Rigel, and go, well, don't know. I mean, I fought back. I got bit. I lost my arm. I was flying. It grabbed a hold of me with the blue mouth. And she stops for a second. I got out. How did I get to the cave mouth? I get to the exit.
oh no.
Okay. And she like sits up and she begins to like adjust her position and goes, I was running, and then I took a flight. It grabbed my arm. I lost my arm. A few seconds passed while moving away, and then it bit me from the right. That was the bite mark on me. And then there wasn't any light yet. Then I was at the mouth of the cave. How did I get out of its bite? I don't know. I don't know. I was in its mouth, and then I was at the mouth of the cave, and I left. Kealdocrit sort of adjusts himself as well, straightens his tie and sits down, like pulls a chair up and sits down properly in front of Shadrinth. All right. We're going to check if you've had the Modify Memory spell cast on you. Look me in the eyes for a moment, please. You'll look up at him, and he will cast a spell, as he will attempt to see if she has had Modify Memory cast on her. He is a wizard and can do all sorts of detect magics. However, I need to roll something.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, she has not had Modify Memory cast on her. So it's not a fake memory, nor was her memory erased via magical means of my particular persuasion, at least. I want to go to this cave now.
Me too.
Hold the moment. If it is dragon information, we happen to know one way older than myself, as he will stand back up and will begin to walk towards one of the other, like, sections of the facility. Like he's walking out of the library right now.
Why? What if we tried to look at it?
Wait, what did you say, Rachel?
Said, hey, Mai, what if we tried to look at it?
To look at what?
Well, she said it was a dragon that attacked her.
I think he's
Uh,
talking about the prism thingy.
Yeah, the thing that used to be an orb. We could use that to see what it was.
We still have to know enough about it to be able to call via the orb, like a name or
You do know bits and pieces of what it looks like, but you only know what Shadrinth has told you so far. You're not sure if you could pin something with the orb. Normally, if you know the name of the dragon, you can definitely get it with the orb, even if you don't know what the dragon looks like. If you just know the name of the dragon, for sure, you just call them up. If you know what the dragon looks like, you can also call them up. You don't happen to have either.
Start saying random dragon names.
just start creating color dragon. The fuck you want? Nope, not the right one. Bye.
Like, no,
A couple of minutes pass as you guys are talking about this. And walking in through the door, coming back from the other part of the facility, is Kealdocrit and Primordus. Primordus steps forward. Right. Hello. I have heard something about dragon something. Oh, you're a mutant, aren't you? And just look straight at Shadrinth. Interesting. Well, right. He told me dragon, multiple heads, different colors. Mutant? How mutant we talking? And Shadrinth will then say, well, the head that bit me, the like golden one that took my arm, had no eyes and was just a mouth on a tendril, basically. And then the other mouth, the blue one that attacked me, that had a grip on me, was seemingly a just blue dragon. Like it was just It had eyes. It had the horn. It should have been a blue dragon. A blue dragon attacked me, but it definitely seemed like something that was a part of something else. Like it was like there were other colors. There were other heads. There were other pieces. Um, Primordius was sort of like, hmm. Well, there is a different possibility. I know of no dragons like this. Ones that can uh, call purely to other mutant kind. Of course, that could be a mutation. I don't see why not. Once we became mortal creatures, well, some of us got stuck in colors. Some of us got stuck with different variations of personality. And he looks at Caldecrit. For example, red, tyrant. Those are the basis for red dragons. That has been that mutation since an immortal dropped out and became a form of standard dragon. Immortal. There were many of us back then, so it's always possible that one gained the ability to call out to its own kind en masse. But your mind has been manipulated. Not by conventional magic, don't worry, you're still an Archmage. Looking at Caldecrit. You're still a powerful wizard. But by natural magics. Do you all know what a false hydra is? Have you heard this word before? These words.
Kaz has. I don't know if Cal did.
Literally all of us going, yes, we have, but our characters, no.
I mean, Rigel might have.
Effectively, they are a serpentine race. Kind of. It's complicated, but they create a sort of music or a hum that alters one's memories consistently. Always in the background until it turns off and you don't notice it anymore. They are problems. And, importantly, the nature of their ability is very similar to what has happened to you post being bitten. Which begs the question, did you run into a false hydra after meeting this mutant? Does this mutant have the abilities of such a creature?
It's one of the heads of False Hydra.
False hydras are not draconic in nature, so if it's a mutant feeding to gain more mutations somehow, then it shouldn't be able to absorb a false hydra. I'm uncertain. Though, with 100% certainty, I can tell you, your loss of memory is similar to that of a false hydra. Upon leaving its area of influence, making it to the cave mouth, it seems you have been freed. Now, why you remember the fight beforehand is what confuses me and or scares me. true that mutants have been going missing since, well, to be honest, very soon after dragons became mortal, mutant breeds began going missing. So I think what you're looking into is a very ancient, probably great worm level dragon that has the abilities of possibly a false hydra, which not something I would like to fight ever. That's my take on this. But, I'm only an ancient immortal, and also not in great shape still. What would you guys like to do?
Kill it. No.
Certainly try. At this point, you know that there's at least 2 different colored heads on a creature that bites as its attack. If you ask Shadrinth for more info on, like, does it shoot elemental stuff, she did not see any. Though she did feel a pulse of electricity when she was being bitten by the blue dragon head, so. She knows where the cave is. But by the time you guys got to here and did all this stuff, it's probably been well over a couple of days since that thing was in that cave.
Yeah,
So if it's
gone,
moving,
which
it probably
could
already
be
moved.
good. Ooh. I want to investigate the cave.
Okay. Do you want to bring anyone with you?
I'll say it while I'm with everyone. I want to investigate the cave. Y'all can come. Y'all can stay. Your choice.
I will come with you.
Aram?
She's thinking.
And my.
I'm intrigued, but she kind of wants to continue her work.
Okay.
I'll bring souvenirs.
Kaldecrit, seeing as you're going to be staying, will basically go, well, obviously one of us two have to go. I will assist you all, should you be okay with that.
Yes.
Wonderful. If it turns into a fight, just remember I'm a lot smaller than I was before.
Can you still bamf us out of there?
No? I mean, I can
Well-
cast some things. I can cast quite a few of the things I could cast before, but my heat-based teleportation has never really assisted other people to teleport, even in my full form.
He's just a little guy now.
But I can cast powerful magic still, and I can still breathe fire, so I can at least keep people away while I run.
Helpful.
Yes.
I mean, I do have the dimension door wand, so we could. 2 of us can move quickly somewhere else.
All right. You go to investigate the cave, I assume.
See.
Mai stays at home and does some research. And by home, I
Goodbye,
mean the
Mai.
Republic. 1. You learn that the cave is in the Kingdom of Savannah. It is the sort of pseudo-Russian-esque country. It is a very large territory that is mostly uninhabitable tundra and or fucking freezing territories. Um, it has one major like thorough road that goes from the western countries all the way to the ocean in the east. The place you are told about is almost all the way near the ocean to the east and is sort of at the northern intersection there, like right next to the ocean, but not quite at the ocean. It's just the far eastern portion of the Kingdom of Savannah. Think like not quite uninhabited, but like the super low population, right? It's like going from the middle of like you guys are basically going from New York to like bumfuck Egypt in Alaska. You know what I mean? Like you're swapping to like a small fishing village from literally being in New York this entire time. Um, they're kind of going to be out in the sticks. Luckily, there's a relatively nearby mage tower, so there is a teleport that's close enough, and thanks to having a couple of dragons with you and the ability to fly, you can pretty easily get to the cave. Are you guys just going without Mai? Are you guys just gonna book it and go check to investigate?
What you mean? What?
You're going to the cave, right? You want to go investigate the cave?
See. Yes.
Yeah.
Ah.
Okay. Just making sure. You're able to go where Shadrinth is pointing you towards. You're able to find the cave entrance, as well as a couple of day old remains of sort of dried up dragon blood that was probably from Shadrin's missing arm, like as she was limping her way out of the caves. You can tell that, yes, definitely, this is the cave she came out of. You're able to enter the cave. It's not that large of a cave. It only goes maybe 300 feet back into darkness. And then sort of this like hold out section. It looks like it could have been a lair at some point. For like like large bear or some sort of wild animal. It's not big enough to fit like full size Galdacrit in here for longer than like just to hide for a moment. It's not a particularly large cave. That's it. The pool of blood.
Boring.
The pool of blood that seems to have been like, or the drops of blood from Shadrinth seem to only go about halfway into the cave. And then there's like a big pooling of it, as if Shadrinth was either stopped there or was laying there or something while bleeding out slowly. And there's nothing further into the cave. It's just empty. What would you like to do?
What?
Galdacrit is examining the walls, examining near where Shadrinth's pool of blood was. Shadrinth is looking around confusedly, like, definitely the cave was way larger. Like, I definitely went into a cave and then got attacked after a bunch of us like collected in a much larger room than this. Definitely like a huge, dark, cavernous area that I went to. And that's where that creature was. It drew us all close, then it attacked us. I got away. But this is where that memory starts of me getting away. Like literally right where that pool of blood is where Shadrin's memory of like I made it to the mouth of the cave and then I left. I was safe. So she doesn't remember stopping here. There's definitely a pool of blood as if she had been here for like 30 minutes bleeding, just with an arm missing, just bleeding, standing still in this spot, or laying down in this spot. Her memories don't seem to line up with the physical evidence of her bleeding onto this ground. But there's nothing deeper in the cave. There's no blood, there's no splatter, there's nothing.
I want to examine where she probably bled out to
Mhm.
see if I can see anything hiding or any signs of anything that used to
course.
be there.
Of course. Everybody can roll a perception check for me, please.
Oof.
My rolls are really not good today.
It's okay. My usually aren't either. See?
Oof.
Okay, Aram, you went with, right? Or did you not go with?
Ah, I don't think I went this time.
Just making sure. Okay. You get down close to it.
Don't
It's
die. If
it
you die, I'm gonna have guilt.
smells irony. It's got a little bit of that obviously it's been here for a while. I look around on the rocks around. There's nothing really unique about this particular thing other than just it looks like Shadrinth was here and wounded and bleeding out here. Turn around and look deeper into the cave and nothing really here. It's nothing particularly unique about the cave. But then, while everyone else is trying to perceive things, Yaldecrit is very much examining the walls. Darkness.
Darkness envisioning me.
You turn back around to where Shadrin's blood was and where the entrance to the cave is. And you see caverns ahead of you. And a trail of blood leading deep underground. And that's where we'll stop for now.
Dun.
Nice.
As it seems the entrance you guys walked into is somehow parallel to the exit that Shadrinth left because now there's no exit where when you turned around and you see deeper into the caverns.
It's like, ah, cool.
Fuck.
Another one of these.
Not again.
You felt no movement as far as you could tell. But now you are seemingly right next to a cavern that goes deep underground. And that's where we will pick it up next time. with Mai and Aram still back at home, and Cal, Caldecrit, and Rigel finding a way deeper into these caverns. Of course, you guys have some pretty
Here,
crazy
Maya, here's
magic,
your
so
next book.
theoretically, you can pretty easily get each other still. Like you can literally just. I'm just imagining Rigel pulls out his paints and just draws a circle into the roof, and just draws a
It's like,
hole
all right,
into the
we're
roof.
leaving.
Yep. You guys have
Not
enough
dealing
power.
with that.
Yeah, you guys have enough power that I'm not. You guys will be fun. But importantly, you have found a blood trail ahead of you, and it's obvious that whatever this little room that you went into is, it has multiple exits that happen to be the same direction as where you came in from. Like, it literally just swapped somehow. And that's where we'll end. So, thanks so much, everybody. I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your time zones. I got some food inbound. I don't know if I have anybody I can raid real quick. Get the frick at. Oh, I've been quacked at. My hair turns yellow when I get quacked at. Yo, Blargs is playing Super Mario Odyssey. Let's go hit up Blargs.
Whoa.
Wow.
I will probably not stream again tonight. Unless I really want to play like Eternal Strands or something, in which
Goblins.
case I will. But I will definitely be playing games tomorrow. Hopefully something with Rogma and crew tomorrow as well, maybe.
Think we maybe want to play some Peak tomorrow.
Whoa.
Fantastic. I
Can't
have
play
Peak.
that one.
I have that game, so I can totally play that.
Whoa.
We saw
We
you
could play
playing
that
it, hence why we want to try it.
Yeah. Guess what? The first mod that came out for Peak increases the player count to 20 players.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw
wow.
that. I was like, do we really want to download that? Because, like, I feel like that'd become fun and more people.
Which I find
I think only
hilarious.
the host needs to download it from what I saw.
It's
like
probably
not everyone needs to download that mod.
Yeah, it's probably server side, and seeing as it's peer to peer, it's just if you guys connect to it, it probably makes sense.
Mhm.
We will see
I'd play a 20-person peak game.
I'd
Hell yeah.
if people are
That sounds
around.
hilarious.
If people are around that late at night, and one of us has that mod,
That too.
because for some people it's pretty late.
Y'all
Some
are
of you-
always on so late.
For some of you
I
East
know,
Coasters,
sorry.
then mayhaps. But I guess we'll be playing some Peak tomorrow. Also, I'll probably play a game early. I might do some more Eternal Strands, but we do want to get into. We want to try Ori and the Blind Forest, and we want to try Kunitsugami.
Ori.
I can vouch for Ori being a great game.
Ori.
So we're gonna try to get those two done because I downloaded those two and we haven't touched them yet. But we definitely want to full play Eternal Strands because that game's been fun. And then MechWarrior 5 is going to be kind of like a game that sort of always exists on the game list of things I do because it's been cool, but it's very much a like play a couple rounds type deal feeling at this point where it's like, cool, I'll play a few missions, I'll do a little bit, and then I can like swap games or something. It's a very casual round by round game, so there's no major story or anything.
Okay.
So I might even play that one off stream at some points because who cares? But Eternal Strands I want to try to do mostly on
Depends.
stream. And then Ori, definitely want to do on stream if I do that one. And Kunitsugami, I definitely want to do on stream if I do that one, because those ones are both story or like very not necessarily linear, but you know what I mean. They're very much like a play it all type of deal. There's no like do an expedition, come back, get some loot, do the expedition again, come back, get some loot. So
Yeah,
that's
they're
what we're gonna do with
very.
that.
There's a start and finish.
Yes, exactly. There's a start, there's a finish, there's a little bit of story, there's a bunch of story, or there's, yeah. You don't want to miss anything on the stream, whereas MechWarrior, it's just going to be another fight that I'm doing the same stuff again. You know what I mean? So,
Hooray, family sharing.
Yep. we'll get to that.
Mhm.
Family sharing. I didn't do any of that on family sharing. I could do that on family sharing, but I got it through Game Pass this time.
Oh, you got Ori on your own?
I did not buy it. It is on PC Game Pass, which is why I
Gotcha.
specifically said if it goes off of PC Game Pass, I might not be able to play it. But you reminded me you have it, so technically I can still play it anyways because I can just download your
You can
copy.
also play Will of the Wisps too, because I have it.
Yes, that is also on Game Pass. So as long as that one doesn't go away, then I will download
mean-
your versions and I'll just play your copies.
I was gonna say at this point you could just play both of them at any point.
Yeah.
Bird
But-
hard.
Nitsugami nobody has, so I'll just try to play
Probably
that
start with
before
that.
it disappears. Yeah, probably. I was planning on doing that one anyways. The demo was fantastic. They had like 3 levels in the demo, and like it's a mix of like RTS and tower defense, but like on a it seems super cool. I enjoyed it the first time I played it, so we'll see what the actual
Or
full
not.
game has. But anyways,
Stinky.
we're rating out to blogs. I'm hitting the enter button. Frick this shit.
What?
I'm out of here. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your time zone. I will be back tomorrow to actually play games on stream. I probably won't play anything later tonight. Don't expect anything. If I do, fucking don't watch it. Bye.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Bye. Nice. It ended on the